Hello friends! Okay, I know it has been a minute since I have put a new post on, but I've been busy. So, I gotta get my mask on here. So, today I'm gonna go ahead and do the, I hope you guys can hear me okay with this mask on, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the grungy eggs. I promised you I would, and I've had a whole lot of requests to do it, so we're gonna go ahead and do that now. So the grunging is pretty simple. It is a Mod Podge and cinnamon technique. So I'm not using any color. There's no paint today. Let's do 6 of them. So basically, this is pretty simple. You gotta make sure they're snapped shut. These are not Dollar Tree ones. I find that the Dollar Tree ones are a little bit more flimsy than a regular, like Family Dollar, Walmart, that kind of thing. These are a little bit stronger than the Dollar Tree. And yes, I've made these with the Dollar Tree, so. Alright, so I need to get my brush here that I use for the Mod Podge. And I use the cinnamon, and that makes the grunge. So I use a mask because breathing in cinnamon is not fun. I also use a mask when I'm baking because of the flour. I noticed after a while that I started to cough a lot, and I thought, well, that's probably not good. So let's put a mask on. So it's the same situation as with painting them, except this time you're painting on the Mod Podge and then rolling it around in cinnamon. And this is just a basic grunge technique. There's a few different ways. You can use a couple different things. I've used the cinnamon with like cloves in it. You can use coffee. Just whatever it is. I would suggest Mod Podge because on plastic the school glue stuff seems to, for me anyway, it always chips off. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in here and roll it around. There we go. So this is going to take a couple of coats. So this is going to dry, and then I'm going to go over it again with Mod Podge, and then more cinnamon. I do have this thing that I can just set a couple of these in. So basically, I mean, you know what? I think I'm just going to hold it. That's basically it, honestly. So what you could do, if you wanted to put little labels on this, you could do that. I've used them where they're like sticky labels, and you do the Mod Podge around it. So if you wanted to put one on there that said like Easter, something like that, that would be cute. Just kind of throwing it down, I can take the excess off. Alright, let's do another one. So this can get messy, and it can get time consuming as far as, you know, if you're making a bunch of them. You gotta let it dry, come back in, do it again. You know, if you're a crafter, you know the drill. Alright, so like I said, these will definitely need another coat. So this is like an extreme like grunge, primitive grunge. It is just basically the entire egg is a grunge. You could do a distress like the other eggs that I did, and do parts of it with cinnamon. You know, you could have some of it with color, some of it with cinnamon. You know, you can pretty much do whatever you want. You could just distress, like I did the speckled eggs, and you could do that, but really distress instead of speckling, or speckle and distress. Do you see what I'm saying? There's like a whole bunch of stuff you could do. This right here is just grungy, like primitive, for those of us who really like this look. I've done this where I've added cinnamon and coffee together, so I've mixed them, and it came out pretty cool. Gives you a variation in the colors. Alright, so these are gonna dry. And as soon as these are dry, I'll get right back with you. All right, so these are pretty dry. I did the second coat on these 3 already, so I figure I will show you. So I'm going in here pretty gently, kind of tapping on this. You can go a little bit. I would go very lightly because it will pull off, especially because it's not 100% dry. Like, I didn't wait overnight or anything. So just be gentle. And I'm kind of doing half the egg at a time so I don't pull the grunge off with my fingers. All right. And again, just go over it with the cinnamon. There you go. That's the second coat. So we'll let that dry. Once it dries, you'll be able to see better if it needs a third coat. Usually it doesn't, but if you don't want to see the egg underneath, like I'll do this to cans for candles and stuff, and I don't care about seeing the can, so I'll do 1, maybe 2 coats, but I won't be thorough with the coverage because I'll want to see it. But this, I don't necessarily want to see the egg underneath. All right. Okay. There we go. So those are all gonna have to dry. This one is, I did a second coat on the top. You can see the difference. You can see the egg through here, but not up here. So it's dry for the most part. I'm just gonna be very careful to try not to mess up the grunge. So that I can show you guys a finished product. Otherwise, I would probably just let these sit until they were dry fully, maybe put a fan on them. But they're pretty lightweight, so they do tend to fly away if you try to put any kind of air on them. I've done it where I've tried to use my blow dryer and they all just went sort of flying off the table. Yeah, it was a pain. All right, again, just being gentle. And I'm really being gentle where I'm holding it. I'm not pushing really hard with my fingers to like hold on to it. I'm kind of trying to just be as light as possible. And that's just so I don't make indents in it. Sometimes you'll get these imperfections and little waves and bumps and that kind of thing. I'm all for it. That's not a problem for me. But there you can see that it's completely covered. And again, I hope you guys can hear me okay because I have this mask on. I hate wearing a mask when doing this stuff because this is a fairly thick mask and I need to protect my lungs. I deal with so much of this and flour and stuff that I was watching a thing last night, and I'm so glad I wear masks. I can't remember what it's called, but it's this town that recreates old shops in different eras. So they're like in the, I think it goes from the late 1800s into like all the way up to like 1960, and each week is a different era. And the very first one, they have a bakery, and they apparently, bakers weren't expected to live past the age of 40 because of all of the flour they would inhale when working. And yeah, dangerous stuff. So I'm glad I wear a mask. I kind of was like, wait, what? Can mess up your lungs and because I bake and do this for a living, but I bake all the time, so I'm using flour constantly. Once I started like coughing a lot, I thought, I feel like this is affecting my lungs, so I should probably do something. So now I wear masks, which I'm happy I do after watching that. All right, let's finish these up. And I'm just kind of tossing back and forth to get the excess off and seeing if there's anything anywhere else. I also am going to be starting the kitchen this week. So if you're following on with the other videos, you'll know that I got the paint and everything that I need to redo my counters and my cabinets. And I am pretty happy about that. I'm pretty excited to get that started, actually. Counters have been driving me crazy. And I just want a new look. Definitely going for the same look I had that I did in the RV, as far as the colors, like the colors of the cabinets. So I hope you guys who are here for the crafting stick around for that. My videos are so varied of subjects, and that's again because we are a homestead. Lots of stuff happening. One good thing I'm so excited about, ordering, well, actually we don't typically order our chicks, our meat chickens. We usually get them at Tractor Supply. One, they're the same price as ordering them. Two, I don't have to pay shipping. They're already there. So, I was there the other day, and they are already setting up to get those chicks. Our brooder, everything's already set up. We just have to basically take it out of winterization. And, you know, get the heater going, all that stuff, and we're good. We will have some meat chicks. Pigs will be a little bit later, I think more like April. If you guys are curious about what's going on with the schoolhouse, I will be doing another video on that tomorrow, I think, actually. I'm trying to remember my schedule here. And update you on all of that stuff. Alright, so these are, I think, done. I'll have to, you know, wait until it's completely dry to make sure I didn't miss any spots. But it looks like it's pretty done. Sometimes, like you see right here, the white, that's glue coming through. Sometimes it bubbles in a spot. And I just like to go around and flatten it if I can, because otherwise it takes absolutely forever to dry. And then if you pop it, it will take it right off your egg, or any surface you're working with, really. So one thing you could do with these is you could grunge them even more the way I do with distressing. You could add black on here, shadowing, that kind of stuff. And, you know, maybe I'll do that and show you what I mean. But otherwise, I mean, you could leave it like this. You could go ahead and Mod Podge over this to seal it, and then be done. Leave it alone. I'm going to put that here because I think that is scraping it off. So like I said, right now, see how it's doing that? That's a bubble of the paint. I mean, not the paint, the glue. And I don't want that because it's going to take forever to dry. And the rest of it will be dry, and that will not. And then you pop it, and then it's going to come off. See how it's doing that? That's all like a big glob of glue right there. I'm going to try to show you what I mean by distressing it more and adding a little bit more like color to it as far as distressing goes. So like maybe some black. I'll tell you what, this stuff is like cement on your fingers. When you get the Mod Podge and then the cinnamon and it dries, it's like hard to get off. Alright, so these have to dry fully. And then I will use a dry brush. Maybe an ink pad, I'm not sure. We'll see. To distress them a little bit more. And then we'll seal them. Alright guys, well, they are pretty dry. I don't think they're fully yet, but I had an idea. I'm thinking that I might be able to use this spray on here instead of ink pad. I always forget I have this stuff because I never use it. But in a situation like this, it might work out okay. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice one and see how I like it. The only reason I don't use this a lot is because of the lack of control you have over it. So I'm just gonna kind of, yeah, that looks pretty good. You see that? The darkness? I actually really like that. And go darker in some areas. Kind of beads up, and that is because it's on cinnamon. So I'm really liking that. What do you guys think? Some areas darker than others. I'm kind of rolling it around because again it's beading up a little bit because it's on the cinnamon. So if I do that, it kind of pops those bubbles, those little beads. So I've made these before, and I've done this with my ink pad. But again, I was looking through my stuff and I thought, oh yeah, I have this, so let's try it. These, again, first time well, not first time, but I just got these recently. I've never used them, really. I think I've used this once before to distress some sunflowers, but I like that. I think that's nice. So you can see the difference. You've got variations in color, which I like because it looks more realistic to me, and then you've got just the regular grunge. So what I'm gonna do is probably do them all this, but you can see the difference in them. And when this one gets Mod Podged right here, it stays the same color. They get a little darker, I mean, but they don't get variations of color like this one does. So it would just stay that color, just a little bit darker with the Mod Podge. So now that I know I like using the spray, which I'm happy about because it makes it easier for me, I'm gonna go ahead and do all of these, and then let's twist them a little bit. And once I like them, then they can dry, and then I would Mod Podge everything to seal it. So that's a lot right there. Just go over it. And one thing about these is that there's the variations are in different areas. Do you know what I mean? So if I wanted less, I can turn it over. But I like this look. I liked it when I used it with my ink pad, and I like it with this. These also, yes, will be for sale. Sometimes I forget to say that. I don't think I do it too often, but I've had messages where people are like, but are they for sale? So yes, they will be. They will be in my Etsy shop by the time you see this. My Etsy shop is Country View Homestead. Just anything. Everything I have is Country View Homestead. Any social media, any of that stuff. In case you were wondering. YouTube channel, everything. I mean, if you're on here, you know, but... Alright. I think we're good. What do you guys think? I like them. So, those of you who are my die-hard primitive people, you have been waiting for this, and I've been waiting to make them because I love these. I have some of these, and for Easter I put them out. I have this like wooden egg holder that I have on my stove cover that I love these in. It looks so good. And if you take care of them, they last quite a while. I've had mine for a couple of years. Alright, there we go. Needed a couple darker spots on this one. There you go. I love it. What do my primies think of this? So now what I will do is come back in with my Mod Podge and seal them. Alright, we're going to try and go ahead and do that and see if they are dry enough. They might not be. Again, be gentle. Just be gentle about it so you're not pulling anything off the egg. Because again, mine right here are not fully dry. It's making it like a muddy look. I don't know, I might like this muddy look that the Mod Podge is making. It still looks like there's variations of the color. Let's see. I don't remember that. Did it do this? I might have done it with my ink pad, but I don't remember. And now that I'm thinking about it, the ones that I have, I let it dry overnight. So no, I don't think it has this look. So let's see what this turns out to be. And again, I'm gonna do half and half, because if I don't do that and I stick my fingers on here, it's gonna pull everything off. We need it to be dry fully before it's stuck on there really well. I'm loving that. I'm hoping that that comes out really well when it dries fully. Alright. Oh, guys, that's looking cool. I don't know. Look at that. Do you see this right here? Love it. Alright, well, I'm going to do the rest of these. Alright. So I went ahead and did 4 of these. I just wanted to show you what they look like. I still have to do the bottoms of these, but you can see the variations in the color. I love it. This is like perfectly prim. Love, love, love it. So this is what happens with the Mod Podge once you put on the sealer. You can see the difference. This is before the sealer, this is after. I mean, you can see it on this with the line. Do you see the difference? Makes it darker. But because I went ahead and sprayed this to distress it, you've got all those variations in color. It's still, this one you can tell, all these little areas right here, they're still drying. But for right here, you can see. Look at how cool that looks. Perfectly prim. Again, you can order these on my Etsy shop, or in my Etsy shop. So you get them in a set of 9 in the Etsy shop. It's a good amount for bowl fillers. Alright, so these will dry, and that will be it for these. Like I said, if you wanted to put some kind of label on here or something, you could, but I mean, that would be before doing all the grunge. But these are just eggs. Alright, so that is that, guys. I will get the picture up. These will be up in my Etsy shop by the time you see this video. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do, as always. And go ahead and follow us all over Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the things. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great night. Bye-bye.